NASCAR Series in 3 different states this weekend. We're here in Texas, nationwide in Nashville, the Sprint Cup Series in Pocono, Pennsylvania. The Truck Series and Speed will be well represented on that broadcast from Pocono. Best wishes to Adam Alexander and Phil Parsons. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and follow us tonight. The Truck Series race from Texas starts now.
Control. It is the undertaking of regulation, domination, and command. A 7-letter word that embodies the act of eliminating the unknown, taking responsibility into one's hands. Measure and remeasure. Check and recheck. Tighten and lock. But when the green flag falls and 36 trucks roar through the front stretch, control becomes just an illusion.
Texas Motor Speedway, the site of race number 8. Welcome to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Winstar World Casino 400K on Speed. Plenty of stories that you can look forward to tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. This is the 375th race for the Camping World Truck Series. Also the 25th race right here at this racetrack. And Ray Dunlap has more of what you can look forward to tonight.
You know, Rick, sometimes it starts to sound like a broken record, but when we talk about mile-and-a-halfs, you've got to look at Todd Bodine. And tonight the 30 truck has new sponsorship from Valvoline, but when Todd Bodine's behind the wheel on a mile-and-a-half, you know he's going to have a shot to win. He's got 10 victories, and right behind him on that list, you'll see that there's Ron Hornaday and Kyle Busch, both of them with 9 wins. But tonight, I think the 30 is the truck to watch.
Well, Ray, I'm still in victory lane, and yes, still wearing the Charlie one-horse hat. Behind me, the Texas Motor Speedway Wall of Champions. Here's where all the winners are listed for the Truck Series. You see last year Todd Bodine and Kyle Busch. Who will add their name tonight? Could victory lane be a fountain of youth? You have Austin Dillon on the pole, James Buescher starting third. Both just turned 20 earlier this year. There you see Austin Dillon's truck. He is the pole sitter. Meanwhile, James Buescher starting third, and they're both in good position. Could one of them pick up their very first Truck Series win and add their name to the list of champions here at Texas?
And so, again, those are a few of the stories that we're looking forward to tonight. We've got a very tight points battle in the Truck Series, just 2 points separating our top 2, and 193 points separate the top 10 in the point standings. So it is going to be a great battle. Again, this just being the 8th race of the 2010 season. We've got youth mixed in with the veterans of the series as they're getting ready for our pre-race ceremonies down trackside. One of the great things about this race facility is they allow the fans to get right up close with all the drivers and the stars of the series. Let's get those pre-race ceremonies going. We go trackside.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the 2nd Battalion, 354th Regiment, 95th Division presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Texas Motor Speedway track chaplain Father Jay Atwood offers tonight's invocation.
Eternal God, Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. We give you thanks for the freedoms we celebrate and enjoy in this country, and for the men and women who defend those freedoms every day. We give you thanks this night for motor racing, for all those who allow it to happen, the sponsors, the promoters, the teams, the crews, and the drivers. And Lord, we ask for your safety and protection to be upon them, and give them the ability to do everything in your name and to your honor and glory, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
In honor of our troops, please place your hand over your heart as Danielle and Jessica Sons perform our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts
Who will wear Charlie Warnhorse at the end of the night? Will it be Johnny Benson, or will it be a first-time winner in the Camping World Truck Series? Who will it fit best? That is the big question we're about to answer for the Camping World Truck Series at Texas Motor Speedway. Who will tip the hat at the end of the night? The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World. The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. Camping World is offering more prizes and more chances to win. Visit campingworld.com and enter today. By Herculiner Truck Bedliners. With Herculiner, the tough comes easy. And by Toyota. Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. The sun just setting behind the grandstand area, and as that happens, let's go back to Chris Devoto for our Polaris resetup.
All right, thanks, Rick. Yes, still down here in Victory Lane. Let's get you caught up on some of our big storylines from the Polaris setup. First, Taylor Malsom moving on to the Nationwide Series. With that means Kyle Busch Motorsports has streamlined to just one team. The 56 is gone. All focus is now on the 18. Austin Dillon on the pole for the first time in his career. And this is a milestone race for the Truck Series, number 375. One person has been to them all. Chris Showalter, the truck chief for Mike Skinner, has been to all 375 races, including all 25 here at Texas. Of course, we are at Texas, and that means this is not just any old rodeo. We are about ready to go trucking, and that means I have to get out to pit road. So I'm going to send it back upstairs to Rick, Michael, and Phil. Did you make it up there? All three of you. All right.
Yeah, thanks, Krista. I know you're doing double duty. It's been a very warm weekend, Phil. How will that affect the drivers?
Well, you know, I talked to a lot of the drivers. They practiced in 95-degree heat. It's still hot out there right now, but when the sun goes down and cools this racetrack, the grip picks up. A lot of the drivers say, I really like practicing when it's that hot because it really makes us work extra hard, and we can use that extra grip when we get it at night. But, Michael, not only do they have all that they have to worry about, we've got a great point battle here.
Oh, man, things have heated up in the points. And listen to what's going to happen. We're going to race 2 weeks in a row. Then we're going to take a month off. It's crucial to build momentum into these 2 weeks because after that, we're going to race 9 races in 8 weeks. Things are going to heat up in the Truck Series.
And things are about to heat up right now because we're going to fire up the engines. We go down trackside for the command.
And now, race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, proud guest of Winstar World Casino, Mike Moss.
Drivers, start your engines!
Yeah, I got you. Crank it up. Oh, good.
36 trucks come to life. The drivers are strapped in, checking to make sure the gloves are set. The Winstar World Casino 400 when we return. And welcome back to Fort Worth, Texas for the Winstar World Casino 400K. Trucks are just starting to roll around the racetrack. The temperature here in Fort Worth, Texas, 92 degrees as you see the sun setting. Forecast clear. We do not expect any precipitation tonight. Want to take a look at our ZMAX track description. As we look at that, our starting grid will roll across the bottom of the screen.
Mikey, as you can see, the corners are banked 24 degrees, and it seems like this racetrack gets racier and racier every year.
Yeah, and I was talking to some of the drivers down in the garage area. Turn 1 and 2 is still tricky to them. You know, it always tightens up. The trucks get really tight. Want to go out to, right out to the wall, exiting the corner. Guys are really battling with that. Turn 4, conversely, opens up a great deal exiting, and they're real comfortable in that end of the track. So that really messes up the drivers when they got one end doing one thing and another end doing the other.
Now we look at our comfort in race analysis. 36 trucks will be running this race.
You can see this is one of the longest races we run, 167 laps, 250 miles for this comfort in race analysis. You see the purse almost $600,000 in our pit window, about 55 to 60 laps.
When you come to Texas, they want you to go for a long time, but they're going to pay you handsomely for it. Over $500,000, almost $600,000 purse for this race.
And tonight, our speed spotlight, we're going to take a little different angle here. We're going to go off of winning droughts, and there's some big names in this winning droughts that we're going to focus on, right, Ray?
Yeah, Rick, at the top of the list, I think you'd have to put David Starr. It's hard to believe that it's been since Martinsville in 2006 when he got his last win, but I'll tell you what, David Starr loves the Texas Motor Speedway. He has more laps around this track than anybody else in the event tonight, and he believes they've got the right downforce package in this Zachary Toyota. I would keep my eye on 81. David Starr rolls off 12. Krista?
Well, Ray, I think you should watch Ken Schrader. Schrader back in that number 2 truck for Kevin Harvick Incorporated in 2007. Schrader made his Texas Motor Speedway Truck Series debut, starting 12th and finishing 8th. It's been 90 races since he had a Truck Series win. He is due to go back to victory lane. Phil?
Krista, Matt Crafton told us earlier he finished second here last year in both races. He's going to reverse that. He qualified better than he did last year. It's been 51 races since he won that race at Charlotte, but it was 178 races it took him to get that win at Charlotte. It will not take him that long to get win number 2. Look for Matt Crafton to be tough tonight, starting from the front row, Mikey.
Let's look behind him, and Todd Bodine sits there in the 4th starting spot. We've got an alert, fellas. Our point leaders are in a drought. He hasn't won in 24 races, but he leads the point. He starts in the 4th position. And, you know, it was here last year when Todd got his last win. Prior to that, his longest losing streak was 24 races also. You know where he broke that streak? Right here at Texas. He's coming to a place he loves. He's got 5 wins here, leads all drivers.
We're going to paint some beautiful pictures for you tonight, and some of those will come from right on board these race trucks. One of the trucks carrying our cameras is the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb. She has the Ford on board that will give us pictures from her perspective.
We're also going to ride along with James Busher. James Busher from nearby Plano, Texas. He drives the Wolfpack Reynolds number 31 Chevrolet, and he starts inside row number 2.
Outside of row number 6 in the 12th spot, looking at David Starr in the Zachary Toyota truck. He's got the Toyota on board. David's from around here, guys. A little home cooking, you think?
Well, he would like to win in his home state. How about Matt Crafton looking for win number 2? He'll also carry one of our cameras. He starts on the front row. We'll see how he does, as it will be a madhouse getting into 1 and 2 at the beginning of this race. They're letting them know that's the next time by. The green flag will fly. Before that happens, let's go back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
You know, Rick, when you think about Johnny Benson, of course, he's got a couple of NASCAR championships, and he's got 14 wins in this series, but they all came for driving with Bill Davis in the number 23 truck. Tonight, he has a shot to get a victory for Kyle Busch, but when you look at the 18, most people remember that number belonging to Bobby Hamilton Racing. You see all the drivers who have won races in truck number 18. A good list there, including Kyle Busch, but tonight, Johnny Benson would like to add his name to that exclusive list.
And as we heard earlier in the setup show, Johnny Benson running for Kyle Busch Motorsports here, looking to run more this year as they have changed some things up at Kyle Busch Motorsports since last week.
Yeah, the 56 cars we mentioned has really gone away, 56 truck, but because Taylor Mawson moved down to the Nationwide Series, Johnny Benson originally was going to talked about running a 3rd truck out of Kyle Busch Motorsports, did not get the sponsorship that they needed to do that. So Johnny right now, every time he steps in a truck, he finishes in the top 10, and I expect him to do nothing less tonight.
That's just what he does. Just like Gray, he does numbers. Whether it's truck chassis numbers or if it's the 18 number, he's got some facts about some numbers down there in the pits.
How about a rookie on the pole? Austin Dillon will bring the field to the green flag tonight. What do you expect out of this youngster?
I think he's going to be really, really good. A lot of talk in the garage area was that truck looked the best in our 2 practice sessions yesterday.
The field is in his hands now as the pace truck has made its way onto pit road. Austin Dillon, Matt Crafton, row number 1, green flag in the air. We're underway at Texas.
It's crucial that Dillon try to clear the truck of Crafton before they get down to turn 1. He doesn't want him hung over on that right rear quarter panel, Phil, and he did it. And these guys drive to the bottom and get the lead.
And they will run wide open through this corner. They will run wide open for several laps around this racetrack.
Talked to Ken Schrader after our first practice, and he had run 10 laps. I said, well, how many laps did you run where you were wide open? And he goes, well, I was wide open every lap. I didn't know you couldn't run here not wide open.
And I asked Schrader, I said, how's your truck in the long run? He said, I ran 10 laps. That's as long as I went, and it was pretty good during that.
Up to speed as they cross the start-finish line for the first time. Austin Dillon out in front of Matt Crafton. Then it's Todd Bodine, James Busher, Jason White, Eric Almirola,
Whoa,
Ricky
way up the
Carmichael.
hill. Check that out.
Eric Almirola in the 51 truck way high down to 1 and 2.
And you know, that's a push, Phil. You go down the corner, you turn the wheels, and it just won't go left. And you do not want that this early in the race here at Texas. This track will more than likely continue to get tighter and tighter, grippier and grippier as these guys race forward. So if he's on that side of it already, that's not a good sign.
But we know Richie Waters can make the adjustments. He'll come in, they'll raise that truck up a little bit, and they'll get that thing tuned up.
I would be very comfortable saying the hood will go up on that 51 truck at some point during this race.
It does every race. Then it runs up front every race.
Already we're seeing a lot of the trucks running right down at the bottom of the racetrack, but we got a couple guys that are running up a little higher.
Take a look at what James Busher had to go through. Look on the right side of your screen. We got a little bit of a wiggle there. I don't know if there was any contact from Todd Bodine, who was right behind him. That was a big time wiggle they're offered to.
Certainly get your attention. I mean, he wasn't even warmed up yet. You know, he just come off turn 2 the first time and the thing's dead sideways. That'll get your attention, won't it?
So I hope this gets better.
Austin Dillon creeps up the racetrack as he comes out of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. We see Ron Hornaday now running back in the 10th spot, right?
That Longhorn Chevrolet is very loose, Rick. Ron Hornaday came on the radio to tell his crew chief, Doug George, I'm pretty loose. Doug said, give me a number. Hornaday said 7 on a 1 to 10 scale. That's really loose for Ron Hornaday. He's usually talking about a 2 or a 3.
You know, I was talking to Bud Hafley, who's Matt Crafton's crew chief, and he said this is the first time that these guys have ever run this tire. The Cup cars and the Nationwide cars ran this tire earlier this year. He said, it seems like this tire has so much front grip. He said, we do so many things with these trucks to try to get them to turn. He said, this tire does it for us. We had to undo some of that stuff in practice.
Yeah, and you know, if you keep going to your toolbox, Phil, and try to get a truck to turn and try to get it to turn, that's sort of your MO. That's what you do. When you get thrown a curve by the tire making the truck turn, then you got to regroup and back up a little bit. So these guys run wide open lap after lap here, and that's not easy to do. I know we talk about they're running wide open, but I talked to Schrader down in the pits. He said when he's going down the straightaway, he just is thinking the whole time, there's a corner up there and I can't let off. I mean, you're used to letting off when you get to the darn turn, but you can't here at Texas.
That last lap, Austin Dillon ran faster than the pole. He ran a 30-20. The pole was a 30-22. That lap even faster at a 30-09.
Nearing in on 180 miles an hour. This is the fastest that the trucks have been this year. They have not qualified as fast as they qualified yesterday in the Truck Series, and this is already our 8th race of the season.
Todd Bodine's lurking right there off that lead this early in the going. If I'm Austin Dillon and Matt Crafton, I'm certainly noticing that. That's going to be a guy you'll have to beat before you can win this race.
And they know that before they even tee it up. Here's a good battle for 7th. That's David Starr, the Zachary Toyota, and Eric Almirola. Remember, we saw Eric go real high. Looks like he's recovered. Maybe the air pressures came up in that 51 truck, and now he's back on the bottom.
Certainly, when the air pressures are low, it's more apt to hit that splitter. The truck hits the ground, and what it does, if it hits the ground, it goes straight to the right. I mean, you can't turn the truck. That's probably what happened to Eric on that first lap.
Field starting to spread out now. The distance between 1 and 2, between Dillon and Crafton, is almost a half a second. Then Todd Bodine, James Busher, and Jason White are your top 5. Ricky Carmichael, David Starr, Eric Almirola, Johnny Sauter, and Ron Hornaday are your top 10. You see your leader, Austin Dillon, has led this race since the drop of the green flag. Matt Crafton trying to hold on to that 2nd spot. He's got a guy who knows how to win at Texas right behind him. Todd Bodine, 5-time winner here. Sunday NASCAR race day powers into Pocono. We'll talk to Kurt Busch and his crew chief, Steve Addington, live. Plus, halfway to the chase, we'll tell you which 12 drivers will battle for the championship. NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot, live from Pocono Sunday, 10 Eastern, on Speed.
See our leader there, Austin Dillon's driving away, but he's going to have company, I think, Rick. When we went to break, you could see that the 30 truck of Todd Bodine was all over the back of Matt Crafton. Check it out. Todd got around Matt, is driving away from Matt, and his times are right down there with what Austin's running. In fact, the last time by, he was about a half-tenth quicker than Austin. He pulled around trying to get on the outside of him, Phil, but watch. He committed to the bottom. Crafton wiggles up the hill just a little bit, and Todd fills that hole. They go down the back straightaway side by side. Matt has a decision to make here. Do I want to run side by side? He's faster than me. It's early in the race. I love this. Smart move by Matt Crafton. He says, okay, Todd, you can have that for now. Duly noted, you got a good truck, and I need to work on mine.
It looked like Matt's truck wiggled when he went over the tunnel. That The guys were telling me that the bump is getting worse over the tunnel. It looked like he would a little bit there. That's when Todd gained all that momentum on him.
Yeah, I was watching those cup cars from Pocono. You talk about tunnels and bumps. Those things jump all over the place. And when you're running 180, 90 miles an hour and there's a bump in the road, it's a little bit different than when you're just driving down the interstate and you hit one. These things want to get out of control.
There are 2 tunnels to get into the infield here at Texas. One right in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and another one right in the middle of turns 3 and 4. And I think the biggest bump is in 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's what all the drivers were talking about, having to work on their shock packages to get through that bump.
Man, Matt caught a bad break there. He caught 4 slower trucks going down into turn 3. Run about a second slower than our leader that time by because of all that traffic.
17 green flag laps already complete by Austin Dillon and 25 other trucks. There are 25 trucks on the lead lap, the last one being Mario Goslin, who is about to go a lap down.
It's a good battle right there. That's for the 11th position between Kenny Schrader, the 2 truck, Timothy Peters, the 17 truck. Timothy was very, very confident in his truck. He said, in race trim, we were really, really good. Timothy started back in the 11th position. That's about where he's running right now in that battle with Ken Schrader.
We talked to, caution's out.
Caution on the racetrack. Austin Dillon slows it back down.
Check out those lights. Look at that.
Well, now there are caution lights that
look at those.
Yeah, on the track that they can see. But how about the fans? These are on the back of some of the posts on the catch fence.
I love that. I like when everything is really clear for the fans to understand, and those are certainly clear.
That gives it away.
We're talking about pit road lines that you can speed, where you have to be down to the speed at, restart lines. All those things I think are important. And Texas buried some caution lights in the track a while back, and now they got them on the fence for the fans to see.
See some smoke out of the back of Ryan Sieg's truck. I think that's what brought out our caution flag. Ryan's coming off his best finish of the year a couple weeks ago at Dover. Actually, 2 races ago, he finished 9th.
You got to give it up for Texas Motor Speedway. They're always thinking about the fans and just doing a really nice job for the fans and the competitors alike.
Very innovative. Eddie Gossage, the president here at the Texas Motor Speedway, puts together a very good program.
We got us an Aaron's lucky dog, y'all. J.C. Stout
in the 95 truck.
Going to get a lap back.
We're a little bit early now. We talked about the pit window being somewhere between 55 and 60 laps. We've completed 19 laps. We're getting close to halfway on a fuel run. You think these guys might want some fuel?
I think as fast as these trucks are remaining, I'd like some at least fuel and be safe on that account. Maybe 2 tires to go along with it. But I don't think I'd hang around and get 4 this early. Do you?
I don't think so. These drivers get 4 sets of tires for the race. 1 on the truck to start with, and then 3 sets in the pits. Looks like they may be headed towards pit road.
We're seeing Austin Dillon bring the field onto pit road. Chris Devoto.
David Starr and Doug Walcott, they were only going to come if the leaders came, so they are coming in. David said his truck is just a little bit tight center off of turn 2. Doug Walcott has up on the box taking a look. They're over on the right side. They just need to free it up a little bit off the center of 2. Ray?
Krista, Tobodyne had made a commitment to come in. They were going to do tires no matter what. And they said, well, the leader is coming. He said, we'll do that and some fuel at the very front. Pit stall number 1 for the number 3 Bass Pro Trucks Chevrolet. Those guys were going to go fuel only, but once they saw the 30 doing tires, they made the commitment. A number of guys going by. Austin Dillon will give up the lead to get 4 fresh Goodyears.
A lot of trucks fuel only, Michael, like we were talking about.
What a great variety of pit strategy here early in the going. It's going to mix this running order up a great deal. It's going to be fun on this restart. They're going to go side by side. Guys that weren't up front are going to be up front. It's going to be really exciting.
Saw one of the big numbers on there was Johnny Benson moving up 10 spots as he came off of pit road in the 6th position. So we'll see if that strategy works out for JB in the 18. We're hearing that maybe David Starr, as we look at our Aaron's lucky dog, this is J.C. Stout getting a lap back. But we heard that David Starr may have hit one of the crew members as he was either coming in or coming off of pit road. Take a look.
It's going to get tight. Oh, look at the back end swings around, Phil. Oh, what a pinch that guy's in. See him jump.
Oh, I think it missed him.
It missed him. And how close was that? Wow.
How alert was that dude to make sure he didn't get spun into?
And how about a great camera shot?
Yeah,
we got to commend our camera operators for giving us that shot.
They stayed up to 1:30 in the morning the last time we ran one of these races. They're fresh and ready tonight.
We'll be back with more from Texas. And welcome back to the Winstar World Casino 400K. We're under our first caution of the night. This one was brought out when the 39 of Ryan Sieg was slow on the racetrack.
I think that engine blew up on that truck, Rick. It sounded really sick, and NASCAR threw the caution just in case some oil. Might have seen some oil.
Now we've got Eric Almirola and Matt Crafton making up row number 1. Then Todd Bodine and Ken Schrader in row 2. Johnny Benson, Austin Dillon in row 3. We'll see how Eric Almirola does on points.
Go,
Green flag back in the air.
Going to be a good test for Austin Dillon. We know how good his truck was out front. Now we're going to see how good his truck is in some traffic.
Yeah, you start on the pole and grab the lead in the first turn. You can prove what a good truck you got. You stick back there 7th or 8th, and all the turbulence of the air coming off those other trucks, plus his inexperience, not being in that position that often. It'll be interesting to see how he can fight through it.
3 wide for a moment. Kenny Schrader, the 2 on the inside. There's Todd Bodine, the 30. Matt Crafton right now, the 88 in second.
Schrader here trying to, 3 wide as they come on to the quad oval.
Well, Johnny had a moment there in that 18 truck, got hung in the middle. Looked like he might have got a little bit loose. Definitely had to get out of the throttle for some reason.
Ken Schrader here in the 2 trying to get that owner's championship for Kevin Harvick Incorporated. We ride along with James Busher and look up on the 33 of Ron Hornaday. Ricky Carmichael up there as well.
Did you notice that sound of his engine through the corner? Never let off.
Nope. You see Hornaday slide up the hill a little bit there, got a little loose. That's not too unusual here at Texas, especially on the restarts when all the trucks are bundled up. They just don't drive as good, Phil.
And remember, full of fuel with some of these trucks with no tires is really the worst situation you could possibly have. You want new tires to match fuel whenever possible, but they had run so little here they wanted to save their tires.
Eric Almirola trying to hold off Todd Bodine in that number 30. He is so good at this racetrack as well as at 1.5 mile racetracks.
Todd's got the fastest truck, man. He was running down Austin Dillon when he was in second, and now he's all over Almirola. And you remember when he was hung in behind Crafton, it took him 10 or 12 laps to figure out how to finally get around him. Dove to the bottom, got to the bottom of Crafton off 2, and it looks like he's going to try it again.
Austin Dillon gained a couple spots that last lap. He's up to 4th now, right behind Matt Crafton.
But if that was the test on how that truck is and how he'll do tonight on restarts and just being all jammed up, he passed that test, certainly.
It seemed earlier that Matt Crafton was holding up Todd Bodine as they battled for the 2nd position. And it seems as though Eric Almirola right now is holding up that 30 of Todd Bodine for the lead as we see a side-by-side battle. James Busher on the outside in the 31. Ken Schrader in the 2 on the inside.
That's a good battle for the 7th position there. Kenny Schrader looks like had 7. They may lose it. He does lose it to James Busher in the 31 truck.
But you got to watch Schrader, man. This is a long race. We talked about it's one of the longest races of the year. Schrader knows how to be around at the end, and he respects Kevin Harvick and the fact that he gave him a chance to drive that truck and race that truck. He's going to make sure he takes it easy, learns about his truck, and proves it all night long, and is there at the end.
Grabbed the top 10 finish this year at Kansas in his first start for KHI.
Just over 1/10 of a second separating the 51 and the 30, right?
Well, Rick, they continue to preach to Todd Bodine, have a little bit of patience here. They believe that his truck's better and that he can get around the 51. But remember, Eric Almirola did fuel only. Todd got right side tires. Now, they didn't originally want to get tires on that pit stop, but Todd said he had a pretty bad vibration. And as he came down pit road, he called crew chief Mike Hillman Jr. and said, let's do right sides. So they're telling Todd, have a little patience up there. You'll soon be around that 51.
How about the right side of your screen? You saw Austin Dillon get by Matt Crafton.
And on the left side of the screen, here comes on the left side of the screen, Todd Bodine finally got down on the inside of Almirola and is looking like he might grab the lead off turn 4.
I think Eric held it wide open, so he really couldn't gain. Ricky Carmichael does get by Matt Crafton to take over the 4th position.
So out front, Eric Almirola still holding off the 30 of Todd Bodine. That's on the left side of your screen. Then a good battle back here between Matt Crafton and here comes Ron Hornaday. Those two battled for the championship a year ago. It looks like Crafton lets off.
Looked like Crafton had another problem through the bumps down there over the tunnel in 1 and 2. He shot up the racetrack. That allowed Hornaday to get underneath him. Here comes Todd Bodine for the lead.
You saw Michael Garrity slow on the racetrack in the 6. Side by side for the lead. Todd Bodine to the inside. Eric Almirola on the outside at the stripe. Almirola still in front. But the hard-charging Todd Bodine looks like he's going to take the position in one.
Hey, don't you think it's a huge surprise that Todd Bodine's leading a race on a mile-and-a-half racetrack, especially Texas, when he's won 5 times?
How about a guy who has dominated this racetrack? Todd Bodine back in front at Texas Motor Speedway.
He's looking to be a drought buster tonight. Hadn't won in 24 starts. The last time he hadn't won in that many. It says the longest streak of his career. It ties the longest streak of his career. Last time that happened, he came to Texas and busted off one of those 5 wins. No one's won more than here, and no one was any more confident down in that garage area than this team. Todd Bodine and Mike Tillman and those guys.
Eric Almirola is not giving up. He's trying to hang on to that back bumper of the 30. But one of the other things about that 30 team and the Germain Racing team that has changed a little bit is Mike Hillman Sr. is here. As we see a good battle for the 11th spot. Mike Skinner and Johnny Sauter. But Mike Hillman Sr. is here. He said, I wanted to be a part of this because I know we're going to get these things moved to where we get the 30 in victory lane.
Not only is he here, he's deeply involved. He knew every detail about that truck and how it was handling, what Todd was feeding back to the team. So Mike's very, very smart and very, very involved in this team.
Go back to the lead. There's Todd Bodine left of your screen. And this is a great Ray told us about the Valvoline situation. Valvoline will be the primary for a couple races at least on this Camping World truck, as well as a primary sponsor on their Nationwide car that Michael Annette drives, and associate sponsors on all Germain's trucks, cars, Cup Series, Nationwide Series, also going to be involved with their dealerships. So it's a great way for a partnership to work here in motorsports.
There's Mike Hillman Sr. Very happy to have Valvoline as a part of the Germain Racing team. Under the lights from Texas Motor Speedway. Things are big in Texas. Well, it's getting bigger here at the racetrack. Very close calls. Who will wear the hat? For 5 years, Tony Stewart has invited championship caliber drivers and friends to his famed Eldora Speedway for an all-star charity dirt late model race. This year, Speed will give you an exclusive countdown pre-race special, which will look at preparations for the Prelude, practice session coverage, and much, much more. Catch the Prelude to the Dream Countdown Show Wednesday, June 9th, 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
What a field of drivers they're going to have for that Prelude. Ricky Carmichael's going to make his debut. Austin Dillon actually tutored him a little bit in the dirt late model. Eric Almirola, that's in this race, is going to be in that race, as well as Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Tony Kanaan is going to drive there. They actually invited Dario Franchitti.
And he wanted to do it.
Yep, but he had another commitment already as far as his Indy racing schedule.
Check out this battle for second. Austin Dillon's been all over Almirola, and look who's joined him. Ricky Carmichael is having a great race. He's leading Ron Hornaday. Those 4 trucks are lined up for the second spot.
He's having a terrific season. The last 6 races, all top 15 finishes for Ricky Carmichael.
But you know, Phil, I think this might be the most speed early he's shown all year long. He's persevered and hung in there at Dover. I remember particularly got a lucky dog and wound up with a great top 5 finish. Here, he's fast from the word go, and that's what you're looking for. You want your truck to haul the mail from the time they throw the green until they throw the checker.
You know, the engine builder on that truck, as well as James Busher, and as well as both the Thor Sport trucks, is Pro Motors, and they won the pit crew, the engine builder challenge back at Charlotte a few weeks ago for the 4th time in a row. They won 3 times in a row, so they had to retire the engine builders. As we see this battle right here, Austin Dillon trying to take over the 2nd position, and they won it with a new set of engine builders. Congratulations to Pro Motor.
Did they build an engine like in 16 minutes?
It ran.
Yeah.
We talked about the 4 of Ricky Carmichael running well. Ron Hornaday has been able to get by him. Is there anything wrong with the truck, Ray, or are they doing okay?
No, he's real happy with it. He loves the way it enters. He said just a little bit tight coming off of the corner for that number 4 truck. But guys, realize this is one of the newest chassis in their stable. This is number 10 that Ricky Carmichael's driving. They ran this same truck at Charlotte, and he said he just loves the way that when they make adjustments on this truck, it's able to do exactly what he wants it to do. They were very, very happy in practice and loves the way it comes up off the corner. Krista?
Ray, want to give you an update on Ken Schrader in the number 2 truck. They are one of the teams who only took 2 tires on that last stop. They came in 12th, went out 4th. They chose track position. He was loose on that run. Schrader just came on the radio and said, I'm better in, but I'm still loose. And just as I've been talking, he just came on again and said, now I'm way loose.
And we heard earlier Ron Hornaday saying he was a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as loose. So is that because we practiced and it was 90 degrees and the sun was beating down on the racetrack, and this is really the first racetrack they've seen where the sun hasn't been beating down on it.
And you know, Phil, the crews talked about the fact that the front tires are making the truck turn better, so you're going to get more grip, Rick. You're going to get more grip with the front end, and that means the back's going to be looser.
Watch this little moment right here. There's the 46 truck and the 63 right in front of Todd Bodine. Look how loose that 46 gets right in front of Todd.
46 is driven
by Brian Rose.
The leader of the race, a dominant truck trying to bust a streak. You don't want to see that stuff.
Not at all. How about this career on a mile and a half in the Camping World Truck Series for Todd Bodine? 52 starts, 10 wins.
He is the winningest mile-and-a-half driver that we have in the Camping World Truck Series. Now Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday are stuck at 9, one win behind him on mile-and-a-half tracks.
Well, we know that Kyle Busch is going to be stuck at 9 because he's not here. Ron Hornaday is here and running well up in the 3rd position.
He's in the 3rd spot, and he ran the fastest lap of all the leaders last time by, so he's got a really strong truck. Check out this battle for the 8th spot. Schrader up on the high side, some lap traffic there.
David Starr looks like he may get the advantage. Now he's going to go way to the inside of Jack Smith in that 63 truck.
Johnny Sauter looks to follow him in the 13. Kenny Schrader also down on the bottom of the racetrack trying to get by.
Schrader lost 2 spots in that exchange, got hung up in some traffic. There's your battle for second. Hornaday to second. We said he had the fastest truck last time by. Takes advantage of that speed and drives around Amarola. Now Austin Dillon is going to close up on the rear tailgate and try to squeeze under him.
Look at that run through the center of the corner. Austin Dillon got a great run through the center of the corner.
And look, coming right there, Ricky Carmichael's all up in the middle of this action too. Fast truck.
Eric Almirola chasing his racetrack or truck up the racetrack. Austin Dillon on the bottom, as well as Ricky Carmichael. Again, this is for the 3rd spot.
I like the fact that Austin Dillon had an opportunity to go in there side by side with Eric Almirola. He checked up a little bit. We've seen so many times those trucks on the inside get really loose. He checked up a little bit going in the corner to make sure he had that truck underneath him, and now he's going to try to beat him off the corner.
What a great move it was, too. Almost makes it, does he?
Tries to clear him going down the backstretch. Austin Dillon. Here comes the 4 of Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael will try to take the position away from Austin Dillon.
Ricky makes it stick down on the bottom of the racetrack. He'll come off turn 4 in the 3rd spot.
Could it be Ricky Carmichael's night in the Camping World Truck Series? He is really putting that truck on a rail tonight, able to get by trucks on the bottom of the racetrack, hugging the white line, and that truck looks so good down there.
He came off turn 4 the last time in 5th, that time in 3rd. So I like what he's doing, Rick. You know, Austin Dillon's a quick learner. He's just really impressive. Young kid that's doing a great job. But he has a lot of good instruction.
Yeah, he really does. I know Clint Boyer was very involved with his effort in Charlotte, talking to Austin on the radio during practice and things like that. All of RCR is really behind this young kid because we talk about people being a sponge. He's a sponge. He wants to learn. He knows he doesn't have a great deal of experience, and I think he's done a whale of a job.
Certainly.
We've had some long green flag runs right now. 27 trucks still on the racetrack. That means 9 are off the track. Todd Bodine is setting a blistering pace, 4.5-second lead over Hornaday. Be the biggest racing fan you can be with Verizon Championship Racing at the track and on your phone. From nationwide and IndyCar driver meet and greets to exclusive peeks inside the Penske garage right on your VCast phone or your hard card to Racing Nirvana. Only from the network with the most 3G coverage, Verizon. One guy who has the field covered is Todd Bodine. 4.7 seconds is the difference between he and second place Ron Hornaday.
Rick, I want to tell you one thing, though. Once Ron Hornaday got loose of that battle with Ricky Carmichael and Austin Dillon, he's been able to match Todd Bodine lap after lap in lap speed. Ricky Carmichael that time was actually faster than both the leaders, and Timothy Peters, running 5th right now, was the fastest truck on the racetrack.
Traffic is just so key here because you want to run wide open. Your foot can stay pretty much on the floorboard all the way around the track. But when they're too wide, slow trucks ahead of you, you don't know where they're going first of all. They might get together like we saw happen right in front of Todd Bodine earlier. So you got to give them a little room. You got to respect that they need some space. And then that just slows down your lap. Maybe even close to a second a lap when trucks line up in front of you like that.
Ricky Carmichael has been very strong, running in the 3rd position. He's 6.6 seconds behind race leader Todd Bodine. How about the 15 of Nelson Piquet?
Driving around his teammate, the 51 of Eric Almirola. Looked like Eric was going to come to pit road.
Yeah, we heard from the pits that Eric's been asking if they could come to pit road and get some service, and they're there.
They have done it. They're on pit road, right?
And they're about 3 laps short of where they wanted to be for the fuel window, but Eric said, I just can't run these tires any longer. So Richie Waters says, let's do it, boys. They came in here. Remember, he was one of the trucks that went with fuel only on our first round of pit stops at lap number 20, while the rest of the guys stay under green out there. These guys hoping to get a strategy where they get tires, and the green flag continues while everyone else has to come to pit road.
That's one good thing that the wave around has done, guys. You know, he comes to pit road right now, gets some service, and goes back out. Even if the caution flies, he doesn't have to pit again. He'll stay on the racetrack and get him back in the game. So the wave around cleans up the front of the field, and it salvages people's nights. Sometimes you wouldn't think in the past you would ever be able to make up the deficit you lose by having an unfortunate green flag pit stop. Now that's certainly possible, and we've seen it happen.
There's a good battle right there. The 15, Nelson Piquet Jr. What a great job he's done in his oh-so-brief stock car and stock truck career. Gets by James Busher. That's a battle for the 9th position. Nelson Piquet Jr. on his way up.
And the other thing about him, I love his passion about this sport and stock car racing. I mean, he has already been in the F1 series and run in that series, but he says, I want to learn as much as I can about NASCAR. I want to learn as much as I can about stock car racing, and then I want to educate the people of Brazil and get them to come out and enjoy stock car racing.
And I love his talk too about wanting to progress through the series. He wants to run the trucks and be successful. What I loved, he said, if I can go out here and beat Kyle Busch in a truck, well, then maybe I can beat him in Cup one day. Then I want to go to Nationwide and see if I can win there and then eventually wind up in the Cup Series. But, man, has he been impressive in his short career. Like Phil said, he's driven up to the 9th spot. And that last time by, he was faster than a 3 of the trucks just directly ahead of him. So he's heading in a good direction with a fast truck.
Finished 6th in his debut at Daytona this year. Did a great job. Eric Almirola back on the racetrack now.
And Eric Almirola came onto the racetrack a little bit earlier than he was scheduled to come on to pit road. The problem was he just wasn't handling, and guys were going right by him.
And now he's 2 laps down too, so he had very anxious moments right there. He's going to have a pass-through penalty that's going to get worse for Eric Almirola. Had a not controlled tire.
Tire got away from the pit guys, and he comes to pit road. He'll do a pass through, and again, Phil, this isn't a death sentence. If he can get back on the track and still only be 2 laps down, he'll be in a position for a wave around when the caution flies, if it does before the others pit, and then that'll put him 1 down. He can fight for the lucky dog. So we saw this happen before, where people have battled their way back into contention.
How about, listen, let's watch this pit stop and see where that errant tire goes. Eric Almirola had a wave around and a lucky dog at Dover, ended up in victory lane.
Now remember, the rule is they have to have control of the tires from there. That's it right there. He pushed the tire from the front. You have to have control of the tire until you get halfway through the pit box, and he pushed it and let it go. That's why they penalized him.
Eric's now just getting back up to speed after serving his penalty.
He's still only 2 laps down, I believe. Let's see when he comes back by the start finish line. Yeah, there's Todd Bodine.
Remember, Eric's coming in this race 2nd in points, only 2 points behind our leader, Todd Bodine, who, by the way, is leading this race by over 6 seconds.
But let me reiterate what you said a minute ago. What happened at Dover? He got 2 laps down. He got a wave around. He made got the lucky dog, and then he won the darn race.
We thought things were hot in Texas. They're about to heat up. We've got green flag pit stops coming within the next 10 laps. Todd Bodine has been out front and dominant. Can he dominate once again and make it 6 wins in Texas? Stay with us. Monday night, get your NASCAR fix with NASCAR Race Hub. Get the latest NASCAR news and information and hear straight from the drivers and crew chiefs when they stop by the garage to hang out and talk racing. NASCAR Race Hub presented by Hooters, Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. Green flag pit stops have begun for a few drivers. Todd Bodine about to put Matt Crafton a lap down.
That is amazing. While we're away commercial break, Timothy Peters made a pit stop, put 4 tires on.
Right now, Matt. Right now.
You can hear Matt Crafton will be coming straight to pit road. As soon as he got lapped, the team will bring him in. Johnny Benson, a guy that also took 2 tires that fall in a lap down, he's on pit road.
Krista.
Johnny Benson had been complaining that his truck was all over the place that run. It was so loose, for the fact that he was able to hold on to that, because he had been complaining about the looseness of that race truck ever since the last pit stop back on lap 20.
Kenny Schrader going to get 4 tires, going to try to tighten that truck up. A little bit Butch Hilton and the guys Remember, this is the same truck that Kevin Harvick won with twice this year.
See Todd Bodine, your race leader, on the left side of your screen. Let's go back down to Krista.
Let's update David Starr. David Starr, one of the trucks that took 4 tires on the first stop. He is back in as well. David Starr complaining that his race truck still just a little bit tight, and that's really where it's been all night. 4 tires for the 81.
Pulling the windshield tear off the windshield of that truck. So David Starr has a little better perspective. You see Matt Crafton coming off of pit road. Ray Dunlap.
4 tires for the number 88 team. Crafton saying his truck absolutely pushing so terrible he didn't even think he could get through the corners. They came in and got 4 tires on lap 73.
All these teams are wondering what Todd Bodine's going to do. He's still on the racetrack. You see Busher going by there with the fresh tires. He's able to put some ground on Todd Bodine. Todd won't put up with that for long. He'll want to get to pit road and preserve that big lead.
Just wait. Ready? Okay, hang on. Go, 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 go. One lane, all the way here. 39, 1 lane.
The 4 of Ricky Carmichael going off the track.
There's Narain Karthikeyan. He was up in the top 15 when he made this pit stop. Here comes our leader. Left of your screen coming in, Todd Bodine.
Problems with the 15.
Nelson Piquet Jr. trying to pit that truck. That's something he hadn't done a whole lot of, Phil. You can learn how to drive around a racetrack because you do it repeatedly. Coming to pit road every now and then is problem. He slides through his pit, knocks the tire out of the carrier's hands. The official had to run.
Caution's out. Caution's on the racetrack.
30 of Todd Bodine down on pit road. Caution comes out. Now, how will this all shake out? You see the steam coming out of the base of the windshield of that 30, so it looks like it might be having a little overheating problem, Ray.
Get it full fuel.
On the front of the nose, they had a good bit of junk there. They just wiped that off. They'll get 4 tires on that Valvoline Toyota Tundra. The guy who stayed on the racetrack and has not pitted yet is Ron Hornaday, and he, I believe, is going to inherit the lead there after Todd came to pit road, and the yellow comes out while the 30 was sitting here.
I think Todd Bodine may stay on the lead lap because he got gone before Ron Hornaday got to the start-finish line. That'll be a huge break for Todd Bodine.
It'll be a huge break for Todd because there'll be a lot of trucks that'll have to do the wave around.
Right.
Austin Dillon, along with Hornaday, Austin Dillon, a couple other guys hadn't pitted.
Mike Skinner also was being scored as being on the lead lap. So there were 4 that were on the lead lap when the caution came out. There were about 10 to 12 trucks that were either 1 lap or 2 laps down behind them that had just come onto pit road for their service.
We're going to see a bunch of wave arounds.
The Winstar World Casino 400K continues next on Speed. Coverage of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World. Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. Camping World is offering more prizes and more chances to win. Log on to campingworld.com and enter today. By Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage. And by Wall Trimmers, now with the power of lithium ion. Go to walltrimmers.com. Let's go down trackside for a pit update from Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, as we were under yellow there, as I had said, Ron Hornaday stayed out on the racetrack as the leader. Then the yellow came out. He came to pit road. But as they were doing their pit service, Ron Hornaday got ready to leave the pit area, and they had the fuel can stuck in. You'll notice on the very left of your screen, as he goes to leave, the can did not get disengaged. And as it got pulled outside of the pit box, I believe they're going to give him an equipment violation. So Hornaday may get a penalty from NASCAR. Krista?
Ray, some issues down here in the 13 pit. Johnny Sauter, they had a bad stop when they came in on lap 75. Had trouble, a slow stop on the right rear, but he just came back in just now to fix some damage on the right rear quarter panel. And when he did, Joe Shear Jr. had said the official was going to let them put fuel in. He said fuel up every time. As they started to put fuel in, the official said, no, you cannot take fuel. Joe Shear telling his driver, just calm down. Only 5 trucks on the lead lap. We're going to be okay. No more mistakes.
Now, the only reason, I can't imagine, the only reason they couldn't put fuel in is because they would be the lucky dog. Is that the only way that?
No, you can pit and put fuel in. You can pit and do your pit work.
But why was he told he couldn't? That, I guess that would be a big question we're going to have to find out. So Johnny Sauter back on the racetrack. Again, when this started, we had 4 on the lead lap. We'll find out how many get the wave around and how many will be on the lead lap for the green flag. Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas. We're under our second caution of the race. This one for debris. Let's go back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, they'll put fuel in this Longhorn Chevrolet, and the most important part was continuing to clean off that grill. Lots and lots of little bits of debris going up under the screens, and many of these guys running hot tonight. So Hornaday will get fuel here as he goes to the tail end of the longest line. He pitted on lap number 80. Krista?
Ray, a further update for the 13 team. We had said that Johnny Sauter's team got in a little bit of trouble for putting fuel in. Wayne Otten, Truck Series director, came on the radio and told Joe Shear, you're okay. The fuel was okay. Here you see it happening. The official coming over, telling the gas man, no, you can't do it. We understand he could, but they did get it full of fuel, so they think they're okay.
When you're the lucky dog, you can only put fuel in your first time you pit. They don't want somebody to be the lucky dog who's going to have to start in the back anyway and put fuel in it and get an advantage over the rest of the field with one to go. This was a mistake by the official. That was Johnny's first time in. He indeed could get fuel. The official made a mistake, and NASCAR corrected that mistake. That's one cool thing about NASCAR. They correct their mistakes, unlike MLB sometimes.
And we had 13 waiver rounds that time. 13 waiver rounds.
Wasn't that fun to watch?
Absolutely.
Coming back to the green flag, it's Todd Bodine out front. Green flag in the air.
Hornaday does not get up to speed.
I don't think he was where he was supposed to be. He had a penalty. He's supposed to be in the back.
They sent him to the tail end of the longest line. That's why.
Yeah, he didn't get there either, Ray. NASCAR may have to bring him in. He did not get to the rear by the time he got to the start-finish line.
But remember, he was trying to get back there. We've seen before. Look, are they going to go 4 wide off turn 2?
4 wide down the back stretch. 5 wide as they go through the middle of the back stretch.
How about Ricky Carmichael making it 5 wide?
Ricky Carmichael on the bottom of the racetrack trying to get by trucks just coming up to speed. Ron Hornaday trying to get back up to speed after having problems on the restart. Again, we heard about Hornaday being told he had to be at the back of the longest line. Well, he was way up toward the front.
But he was trying to get back there. And we've talked to Wayne Otten about people correcting their mistakes before on restarts. And that's exactly what Ron was doing. He said, okay, I get it. I'm trying to get back there. All those waiver rounds that came around were to be in front of Ron, but they didn't get around there till late. So he was just trying to position himself where he belonged. Are they still 3 wide?
They are 3 wide, and Hornaday is on the outside in that 32 truck. We are hearing from NASCAR that he is okay. He was able to get far enough back to satisfy NASCAR.
Narain Karthikeyan in the 60. He drops back just a bit more. Being scored in the top 10 is Ricky Carmichael. He is the last truck on the lead lap. So we have 10 trucks on the lead lap. The next one a lap down is James Buescher in the 31. He is 1 lap down.
A couple former F1 drivers racing together. Narain Karthikeyan in the 60 and the 15 of Nelson Piquet Jr. Nelson Piquet Jr. finished in 2nd at the German Grand Prix to Lewis Hamilton only 2 years ago.
Nelson Piquet Jr.
Riding along in the top 10. Wouldn't you like to hear he and Narain talk about this experience? Can you believe what we see out there? These guys are crazy. We were 5 wide off turn 2 at Texas.
How about that move by Hornaday?
Crazy. Ron Hornaday slides to the top of the racetrack trying to get by. Oh, look at that contact. The 81 of David Starr gets into the 01 of Joe Aramendia.
Justin
Lofton also involved as well.
You got to watch the job that David Starr does in this crash.
Caution's out, caution's out.
Third caution of the night comes out. The 81 of David Starr, hometown hero, involved. Joe Aramendia also involved in this in the 01. We saw the 7 get caught up.
That took a long time to develop. Something happened coming off turn 2, and they didn't wreck till they got all the way down to turn 3. We've seen before people having trouble going down the straightaways by bump drafting or flat tires like Austin Dillon had last week at Charlotte. This looked like somebody changed lanes abruptly and got out of control. Watch the job that David Starr does. This is amazing. No damage on that truck, couple flat tires, a little bit of a bit fender in the back there. See the official pointing that out?
A little bit of debris on the front of this race truck.
Yeah, very little damage for what he was in the middle. Let's take another look at it right here. The 01's going to move up the racetrack. David's going to try to go to his outside, and he was trying to get between the 7 of Justin Lofton and the 01, didn't quite make it. Now watch the 07 of Tony Jackson Jr. gets into Justin Lofton in the 7 truck and turns him into the outside wall.
Look, David Starr still hadn't crashed. He was trying to, he tried to all the way down the back straightaway, but he finally got ahead in the right direction. Just watch this 81 truck. He makes a mistake. I think he crowds up into Lofton, gets Lofton out of whack, spins into the 01, heads toward the outside wall, barely clips it. Watch, he keeps driving it, got it down to the bottom of the racetrack, kept going in the right direction. Big crash
Tough break for Justin Lofton.
Yeah, Justin was just was a victim. He was running his own line, and watch, David Starr tries to squeeze in a hole that isn't there.
This moved up a little bit. The 0-1 moved up a little bit, which forced David to move up a little bit, but unfortunately Justin Lofton in the 7 truck was there.
Also involved, you said it, the 07 of Tony Jackson Jr. So 4 trucks involved in this, the 3rd caution of the night, as we've passed the halfway point in this race. 167 laps, and there you see a lot of the damage to the front of that race truck.
Yeah, that truck may not even move from there. You see the front end all the way on the ground. He did get it refired and is going to.
I believe I'd give up.
Joe Aramendi is trying to, well, we're not really sure what he's trying to do now.
That ought to end his progress right there.
Yeah.
The tires won't spin on. Maybe just wanted to get it off pit road. You see Foot Soldier there, the sponsor on that truck. Mike Minter was walking around the Charlotte Motor Speedway talking about this effort that for the troops.
Let him go again, and we'll change the left rear.
Yeah, David Starr's back in the pits for some more
Let him
pit
go,
work with
guys.
that Zachary Toyota.
Let him go, and then
you're
they'll
clear.
change the left rear. It looks like the left rear might be flat on that truck.
Here, bud. Looking good here. We'll just be good.
Trying to stay on the lead lap.
here.
Right now, David Starr is one of the trucks on the lead lap.
Broke at the
We have
rear.
9 trucks on the lead lap
All
right now,
bud.
Krista.
Give me a chance. Get it around here. I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
it just
on the
keeps getting worse for David Starr. As he came in the first time, they had said to change the right front tire, and they came around, the crew changed the left side, so he came back in this time. But the 01 truck you saw there was blocking his entrance onto pit road, blocking his pit stall. They had to wait for the 01 to go by. When he came back in, David just came on the radio and said, now something's broke.
Oh man.
Well, the other thing, James Busher will be on the lead lap, so that will he'll get the Aaron's Lucky Dog. That'll put it to 10 trucks on the lead lap as long as David Starr can continue.
And we'll have some more wave arounds.
And there will be some more wave rounds.
Hear that tire?
Yep, that
Hear
left
that
rear
tire?
tire blew.
And that's doing damage too, Phil. You can see the debris tearing up the inner fender panels, which affects the way these trucks handle. So
Rear's down. Left rear's down. Come on in.
trying to stay on the lead lap is the reason why they couldn't get those tires changed, but it
down in
might
here,
have
bud.
bitten
Get
them
off the
there.
bank and bring it
And
down in here.
with 80 laps to go and the wave around and the
Flat
Aaron's
tire,
Lucky
guys.
Dog,
Left rear.
you don't have to be in a panic to stay on the
We're
lead
going
lap.
to lift it, guys. At the line. Now.
So the Zachary Toyota
Get that flat tire, Jack.
of
Case I need
David
it.
Starr making his way back onto
Here,
pit
bud.
road. They'll try to get the
2,
left rear changed and fix the damage that has
Hey,
just
cars
taken
in the
place from that tire blowing out. David Starr involved in this incident. Maybe the primary that was involved in it, because he was trying to fit in a position where there wasn't an opening. And there we see the Aaron's Lucky Dog of James Busher in the 31. He'll get a lap back and be on the lead lap.
A local driver. I think it's only fitting that Aaron's will give him a lap back. He's from nearby Plano, Texas.
Very close here in the racetrack. You see Eric Almirola just in front of that 31. Again, the problems began in the center of the backstretch. The 01 of Joe Aramendia, the 81 of David Starr, the 7 getting caught up in that as well. We'll be back for more on Speed.
It's Camping World's destination recreation.
You know, I thought last year's Destination Recreation Sweepstakes was fantastic, but in 2010, Camping World has made it even better. And these are some of the prizes that you might win if you sign up. How about this? A wireless remote control sleep number bed. I didn't even know they made those for your RV, and I promise you, it's extra comfortable. You want to watch Speed wherever you go? How about a Winegard carryout? Really light and guaranteed to get you satellite service. This is a cool item, no pun intended. How about a refrigerator or freezer? With a flip of the switch, it can be either, and you don't need bags of ice any longer. A Honda generator is available. This is the EU2000. You can take a parallel cable and put 2 of these together to give you 4,000 watts of power. All of these items give you the comfort of home when you're on the road. And one lucky NASCAR fan is going to have an opportunity to win a great Coleman travel trailer. Now, there are many different sizes of these if you come shopping, but the bottom line is this is an affordable RV that's built to last. Now, guess what, though? Here's the grand prize of Destination Recreation. It's a Hurricane by 4 Winds. This is an impeccable Class A motorhome, and this unit retails from right around $85,000 to $100,000. And guess what? You can't win it if you don't enter.
The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. More prizes, more chances to win. To enter, see the complete prize descriptions and the official rules. Visit www.campingworld.com/racing.
You know, every now and then, Phil, a wreck is just unavoidable. Watch what happens here. As they come down the back straightaway, Star is passing on the outside the 01 truck. The 01 truck makes a little bit of a move up the hill. David reacts to that, and Justin Lofton was in the hole that David didn't know was there. I mean, you could probably blame that wreck directly on David Starr, but if you watch the replay from turn 3, looking back down the back straightaway, check this out. Watch what happens as they run down the back straightaway.
Watch the white line now. Watch where the 01 is relative to the white line. When he moves his right side tires above the white line, then that forces David Starr to move up. He had already committed, and unfortunately Justin Lofton was already there, and that's when they made the contact.
And he went a foot or two above that white line and crowded up to where David was, and it made David make a move he didn't want to make.
If the 01 goes straight down the straightaway where he started, then that accident would not have happened.
But you could hear David Starr driving that darn truck. After he got in that bind, he drove it all the way to the other side and made it through and made it to pit road, got him some new tires.
Ray, what's happening with Matt Crafton tonight?
Well, they just have had such a terrible push in that Chevrolet tonight, and they just came back down pit road here to put on 4 fresh tires. Matt said he felt like they still had a bit of a vibration in the front, and he was towards the back of the lead lap truck. So they got 4 tires here on lap number 91, and guys, I don't think he's able to go the distance from here, is he?
No, not with 77 laps to go, Ray. No way can they go the difference, the distance.
Green flag coming back out on lap 92. It's Todd Bodine out in front of Mike Skinner, Johnny Sauter, Austin Dillon, Ron Hornaday Jr.
What about some of these players we got at the front now, though? Skinner and Sauter, they haven't been up there all night, but now they're there.
We'll see what
Lucky
they
dog
do.
on Sauter. Skinner using some strategy, not pitting, getting the track position. It looks like Sauter's going to go for the lead down on the bottom of Todd Bodine. We haven't seen anybody muscle their way around Todd Bodine all night.
He went down to the bottom, but he didn't really muscle his way around him. That 30 truck is strong. Great battle right there. There's Hornaday, the 33 on the inside of the 5 of Mike Skinner.
Look at the power of that 13 truck down that front straightaway. Todd Bodine just leaves him in the corner, but you can see Sauter drove all the way back up beside him again as they got down into turn 1.
Here comes Ron Hornaday, a great run through turns 1 and 2. He keeps that momentum up, takes a position away from Johnny Sauter. So Hornaday moves up into the 2nd position.
Mike Skinner looked like he tried to get in the hole underneath Sauter there, and Sauter closed the door. Austin Dillon's all over the back of Skinner. Can he dive to the bottom on Skinner like we saw Sauter do on Bodine?
He's going to try, see if he can get there in turn 1. Eric Almirola, though, pulls to the outside of him. But remember, Eric Almirola right now is being shown 2 laps down.
Almirola with a strong truck early on, but then faded quickly, went on to pit road under green flag conditions, and now has scored 2 laps down to the field. Still side by side, a little further back, you see the 4 of Ricky Carmichael on the inside of that 17 of Timothy Peters.
David Starr, remember that incident that he was involved in, part of the reason for that incident, but still racing on the lead lap. His guys kept him on the lead lap, and he's up still in the top 10.
Doesn't look like that damaged that left rear corner from the tire blowing out. We saw debris on the racetrack. We know it did some damage to the underside of that truck. It could hurt the handling of it as the tires start to go away, but Starr did a great job of working his way through that crash after it started. Now finds himself riding in the 8th spot.
And remember, there were only 10 trucks on the lead lap because of the caution coming out late through some of the green flag pit stops. So that's one of the biggest reasons why Starr is still on the lead lap. He was able to come onto pit road a few times to get work done to his race truck and get back out there on the lead lap.
Had a great battle for a moment between the 15 of Nelson Piquet, who is the last truck on the lead lap right now running 10th, and Kenny Schrader, who's running 11th. But Kenny is being shown 1 lap down right now, but he is in position to get the Aaron's lucky dog if the caution flag were to come out.
And that's why he was racing so hard. You can see Jason White here, Matt Crafton, all these trucks are right behind that battle between Piquet and Schrader Schrader needs that gap. He needs a buffer between he and those other trucks. So he raced hard to keep Piquet behind him and get that gap, and indeed it's working. Right now Schrader is in position to get the Aaron's lucky dog, and there's a bunch of guys that want that position.
Yeah, right now there are 6 trucks that are scored 1 lap down to our leader, Todd Bodine, Ray.
We've run about 6 green flag laps here since we've gone back to racing, Rick, and Todd Bodine has yet to lift off of the throttle. He just said on the radio, I'm wide open, and now that this track has cooled down, this thing is really handling great right through the corner. You notice Todd's able to take it down to the white line and then float it up on his exit. Hornaday right to his back bumper now, but Todd yet to come off the throttle.
Well, I would say that Hornaday is yet to come off the throttle as well.
Hey, Ray, tell Todd he's got problems in, because if he's wide open, the guy behind him is faster and has caught him.
Mile-and-a-half performances. Todd Bodine, Hornaday, and Busch. We talked about the dominant three. Todd Bodine with 10 wins on mile-and-a-half tracks. And right behind him, the man with 9 wins, Ron Hornaday.
Right there, 19 between them. I tell you, Ron Hornaday's truck looks really good. He's able to keep that truck a little bit lower through the corners right now.
And Todd Bodine can't get any separation on him, and that's going to make Todd Bodine's truck handle worse with Hornaday all over the tailgate. Talking about the other guy in that trio of big-time winners on mile-and-a-half. Don't you think Kyle Busch is sitting in Pocono thinking, ooh, I wish I was in Texas right now?
Well, you think about it. The two, you see Johnny Benson in the 18 right now.
He's running along in 12th spot, 1 lap down. Uh-oh.
Those two trucks that are running 1 and 2, 7 wins between the two of them at this very racetrack.
5 of them on the 30 truck, Todd Bodine. Like Todd got a little sideways down in turn 1, but I guess he held on to it.
Justin Lofton visited the infield care center. He was checked out and released after the most recent incident on lap 86. Completing lap 100 of the 167. Todd Bodine now putting some distance between himself and Ron Hornaday.
Look at Hornaday. You said it, Phil. He's just able to keep his nose down there in that fresh air. That, you know, you'd hear about aero push. You want to keep your nose in that clean air. And when Todd Bodine comes off the corner, he's a little bit higher. Ron's able to keep that air on his nose. That keeps that truck turning in the corners, and maybe is going to let him make a run to the inside of Todd.
He keeps those left sides right on that white line. Right now, Todd Bodine's matching them lap for lap, Ray.
You know, in the pre-race show, Phil, I had a chance to talk to Todd, asked him why he was so good at Texas. He said, well, because the team always brings me really good equipment. Well, in his 5 victories at this racetrack, he's done it in 4 different trucks. And if he's able to win tonight, it'd be 6 wins with 5 different trucks. But guess what? Hornaday just took the lead.
Yeah, Hornaday got by him and actually made it look pretty easy.
Well, he's been working. I mean, he's been worrying Todd to death. That's for sure. These two drivers right here have won 7 of the last 11 races held here at Texas Motor Speedway.
They were also 2 of the drivers that we spotlighted in our spotlight as being winning droughts. They were involved in a winning drought so far. So can Hornaday get a win, or will Todd Bodine get off of that drought?
Remember, those droughts are for them. That's a drought for them. For most people, they would be okay with it.
Hornaday has 45 wins in the Camping World Truck Series, but he is on a winning drought. Can that drought end tonight? We're going to find out. The Duplicolor Bed Armor What's in Your Bed promotion is launched and continues until August 31st, 2010. Entries open to legal residents of the United States and who are 18 years of age or older. Entry requires submission of an image and description of your truck in use in one of 3 categories. Limit 1 entry per person, household, or street address per category. Odds of winning depend on the number of entries on the website. To enter and for official rules, visit www.bedarmor.com. Void where prohibited.
Glad we brought you along to do all that. That was a lot of words there, Rick. Good job.
Out front, it is Ron Hornaday, and he's got about 6 truck lengths over Todd Bodine now. That's about a half a second here at Texas Motor Speedway. Johnny Sauter's back there, 6.5 seconds back. Mike Skinner running 4th. Austin Dillon is 5th, and Timothy Peters is 6th.
There's that great battle right there between Mike Skinner and Austin Dillon. There's Johnny Sauter, the 3rd place truck, right in front of that group battling, and there's Timothy Peters, who's in 6th. So that's 3rd through 6th right there in your screen.
Look at all the different lines. That's why these drivers love Texas Motor Speedway so much. You can run right on the bottom. Need to move up, you can do that as well. See, Austin Dillon had a great run on Skinner off turn 2. Now he's going to dive to the bottom. I think he's going to get this position.
He got on the throttle a little bit quicker through the center of the corner, but Skinner was able to hold him off the corner.
Used his momentum, kept that thing wound up a little bit, and was able to get in the gas a little bit quicker and stay in it harder than Dillon. But I don't know, I like the bottom line here tonight. We see Hornaday leading the race right down to the bottom. Todd slid up the hill a little bit. It just seems like if you're going to be faster than to be the best you can be, you need to have that truck working right on the bottom of the racetrack.
we've seen the biggest moves taking place, and we see Austin Dillon trying to get back down to the bottom of the racetrack.
But I love what Skinner's doing. He's not just settling for the bottom of the racetrack. He thinks he hits the wall.
Skinner brushes the wall coming out of turn number 4. We'll see if that affects the handling of that race truck.
We're going to find out when he gets to the corner here if that affected that truck or not.
That was a bad move there. Like we said, he was trying something new, and he just ran out of racetrack.
Slapped the wall coming out of turn number 4.
I hit the wall over there a little bit.
A little bit. Let's take a look at how much.
He's on the high side of Johnny Sauter right there.
Okay.
You can see he closed right in on Sauter, Phil. He lost the air off the nose, and I'm sure that thing just scooted over a couple 3 feet, and he just didn't expect it to do so.
Well, and you guys always are looking off the A post, so you're looking off of that. You see the 13 truck in front of you. That wall probably came up on him a little quicker than he even anticipated.
And I think he came up on the 13. He made a bigger move on the 13, laid off that corner than he had prior to that, and he lost his nose.
Look at the hood of that truck right there. That W, that is George W. Bush. That's an honor of him. The back decklet of that truck has Safari Club International. George W. Bush was the keynote speaker at their convention, and to honor him, they put the decal on the hood. George W. Bush being honored in that 3 truck by Safari Club International, and Austin Dillon has given it a great ride.
Let's go into the infield with Chris DeVota.
Nothing worse than watching racing from the garage with Justin Lofton on our monitor. Were you just a victim of the wrong place, wrong time out there?
Yeah, it looked like it. It just a lot of, really good racing going on out there. I just feel so bad for everyone on the number 7 VisitPit.com Toyota Tundra. We had a great truck, and just, we were making it better all night, and it's just a, real unfortunate that this happened. And, I guess we're 2 for 2 here in Texas, but, just want to let everyone know at home I'm okay, and, just want to thank everyone that supports us and keeps us on the racetrack. Mastercraft Safety, Weekend Warriors TV, Rusty's, just everyone out there that's, supporters of us, and, just look for us next weekend in Michigan. We've got this figured out, and we'll definitely be up front.
All right, thanks, Justin. Yeah, he walked up to me, Rick, and said 2 for 2, referring to his nationwide race at Texas, which suffered the same outcome.
Unfortunate.
I'll tell you, Mike Skinner has something figured out, Michael. For the last 2 or 3 laps, he's gone around the outside. He drove away from Austin Dillon a little bit, and he drove to the outside of Johnny Sauter to take over that 3rd position. That truck liked it up high, and now we moved right back down to the bottom.
And still gapping those guys, but you can see, I think Sauter's a little bit slower than these other trucks, because Austin drove right up on the back of them as well. And Sauter is protecting that bottom, and like I said, there's more ways to get around this track than one, so going to the top side worked really well after Mike figured out how to do it without running in the wall.
And Mike Skinner ran the high side again, and look how much distance he gained on that 3 truck right there. The 13 truck of Johnny Sauter.
Johnny Sauter continues to hug the bottom of the racetrack down on the left side of your screen. The 5 of Mike Skinner now with some open track in front of him, right?
Well, and we documented that Gene Need, the crew chief, left that organization after the last race, and Skinner was not at all happy with his truck during practice. I went up to him right in driver intros, and I said, dude, you've had 10 consecutive top 10s at this racetrack. What about tonight? He said, I promise you, this truck will be much better when the track cools off. But during the day, we just could not hit it at all. We were not happy with the setup. Qualified 17th, but Skinner loves to run through the center with a hammer down, and he has moved up into the top 5. Good truck during the nighttime. It was terrible during the day.
He's just trying to make something happen, Rick. He's got that thing running through the middle of the track, but I do believe the bottom way around this track will be a little bit faster. You can see Austin's closed right up on him, but you got to like what Skinner's doing. He's just trying to make something happen in that truck.
Hornaday out in front. Todd Bodine running second. Then it's Skinner and Austin Dillon and Johnny Sauter. They are your top 5. Under the lights at Texas Motor Speedway, the Winstar World Casino 400K continues here on Speed. Let's take a look at tonight's Just for Men hair color. Live Forward. Our next race, Michigan International Speedway. Some of the records that the Camping World Truck Series have from that racetrack. The fastest race in 2003. Brendan Gaughan with an average speed of 154 miles per hour. And then the second closest finish back in 2008 between Eric Darnell and Johnny Benson. And 5 1/1000ths of a second do that no justice. They look like they were side by side across the stripe.
What an amazing finish that was up at Michigan a couple years ago. Race there next week. A couple other big moments. Just for Men Live Forward moments in time are coming up ahead. Rick Allen turns 41. You'll start using Just for Men pretty soon. Phil Parsons will be 53. All this happens within the next week. So, guys, get your Just for Men and live forward.
I do not turn 53 in the next week.
52. But it was nice try.
About the next week.
Oh, yeah, 53. Sorry. Winstar World Casino 400K continues. We're getting close. The last 42 laps are coming up. Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. Yes, they have slowed down. We are under our 4th caution of the night in the Winstar World Casino 400K. And the reason being, the 4 of Ricky Carmichael. Looks as though he may have blown a right front tire, got into the wall pretty hard. Here come your leaders onto pit road. Krista.
The 17 of Timothy Peters could have made it further than everyone else because they came in to get that splash a while back, but they would have had to stop. This is the stop they were waiting for. It's going to be 4 tires. He needs his truck freed up just a little bit. You see the wrench going in the back. That's going to be a track bar adjustment. Just 1 round and some air out of the left side tires. Ray?
Top of your screen, the Lord of Ron Hornaday and the Longhorn Chevrolet. They're going to go with 4 tires. Now, they need the second can of fuel for a little bit, but they don't have to wait on it. 4 tires there in the middle of the screen. Todd Bodine, he is going to get his truck away ahead of Hornaday. Hornaday will lose the lead. Bodine will take it. It'll be a close race at the end with them in the 3.
Todd Bodine does win the race off pit road. There comes Ron Hornaday. Timothy Peters will come off 3rd, and then Austin Dillon in 4th.
There you see the damage to the 4 of Ricky Carmichael's truck.
We heard his spotters say that something broke. They wasn't sure if it was a tire or what, but something broke on that truck. And, man, look at the damage on it, Phil.
Yeah, what a great run Ricky was having. He was currently being shown in the 7th position right then. Tough break for that monster Chevrolet.
Had to go from the bottom of the track right to the wall.
Yeah, top of your screen, you saw something definitely broke there. Looked like something maybe different than a flat tire, didn't it, Michael?
It's certainly hard to tell. And the way that thing came to a rest over there, it's just...
I think he may have actually got into the inside wall as well.
It didn't come to a rest, did it? It came to an abrupt stop. He hit it hard on the inside wall as well, it looks like.
You see top of your screen.
Of course, he's not in control of the truck at this point. He's just going wherever it wants.
Probably didn't have any brakes at that. And there's the contact with the inside wall.
So that's the reason for our 4th caution. It's the 4 truck, Ricky Carmichael, that gets into the outside wall and then the inside wall. We're winding down the laps, 36 to go.
The Irish Hills of Michigan welcome the Camping World Truck Series. No driver currently in the top 10 has ever won this race. Will one of the championship contenders find their way to victory lane? Tune into Speed to find out. It all starts Saturday, June 12th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern with Chris Devoda and The Setup, followed by flag-to-flag coverage right here on Speed.
The BFW 200 from Michigan International Speedway. Again, that's Saturday, 1:30. A 2-mile racetrack. We've been on a 2.5-mile super speedway. We've been on 1.5 miles. Now a 2-mile.
Hey, you run 200 miles on a 2-mile racetrack, and at the end of the race, the distance between the winner and second place is like 0.005 of a second.
It's very, very close. You won't want to miss it.
It'll be the same high-speed action that you're seeing here at Charlotte. Running low, running high, and a lot of speed.
Todd Bodine looking to win his 6th race here at Texas. He may have a problem. He thinks something came up and hit the front end of this race truck. And we've been taking a close look at it. Looks like maybe something on the left side of the front end.
We see that nose piece broken a little bit on the left side. You see right just adjacent to the headlight decal. We don't see anything on the right side, but we definitely see that left side broken a little bit. Ray?
And Phil, what they were really worried about was, did the debris that may have hit the front go underneath the truck and get on the tires? Todd said no. He for sure saw that it bounced away. They believe it came off of James Busher's truck before he took the wave around. But as the spotter, Jason Jarrett, was looking down at it, he said, I don't see any problems. And Mike Hillman Jr. told Todd, you're good to go. Let's go win us another one here in Texas.
That could have weakened up that left front corner, Phil. Those things get a lot of pressure, obviously, from 200 miles an hour, 170, 80 miles an hour speeds down in the corner. Be interesting to see if that thing will hold up. Now he's got Ron Hornaday up on his outside. He's got more immediate problems. Can he get a good start here?
Back into the gas. Green flag back in the air. We've got 33 laps of racing to go.
How about Timothy Peters jumping in the inside of Ron Hornaday? Remember, Timothy Peters' truck has been getting better and better and better as this race has gone on.
Look at Skinner forcing his way to the inside of Hornaday.
A little bit of a bobble. Slides up the racetrack. Hornaday losing spots. Now Skinner has taken over third. Here comes Johnny Sauter looking to the inside, but the 33 of Hornaday powering back on the outside.
Got her wound up now. He's going to take that third spot back away.
How about that 15 truck of Nelson Piquet Jr. right now, battling just outside the top 5 and 6th.
Austin Dillon running in the 7th spot. David Starr, Jason White, Matt Crafton scored a lap down in 10th.
You can see them all starting to slip and slide around. Skinner down on the inside of Hornaday almost got into the side of that Longhorn truck.
Attrition has been terrible today. There are only 20 trucks on the racetrack right now, and that will be 19 because actually Ricky Carmichael is off the racetrack.
But all 20 of them, all 19 of them are occupying the same space. I mean, we've got these trucks packed all together. Check that out. That's everybody on the racetrack.
We just got news from NASCAR that Ricky Carmichael has been checked and released from the infield care center. So that's good news. Anytime you cut down a right front tire. Oh, look at that. Who was that sideways? Was that Austin Dillon?
Yeah, Austin Dillon in that 3 truck. Here comes Johnny Benson in the 18 behind him. Nelson Piquet Jr. in the 15. Looks like he's got a little bit of a wiggle, trying to hold on to that position. Here comes Ken Schrader in the 2.
These guys, some of these guys in this battle are trying to get that free pass from Aaron's, a lucky dog, back into the show. Check this out off turn 2.
I believe it's the 15 of Nelson Piquet Jr. Look at that slide he does coming off of turn number 2 and saves it. That allows Austin Dillon to get the momentum and drive by him.
The 2 of Kenny Schrader just behind the 15 of Nelson Piquet Jr. Race for the lead. Todd Bodine. He's got Timothy Peters behind him and Ron Hornaday. The 3 trucks have separated themselves.
An uncharacteristic poor restart for Ron Hornaday. Dropped almost back to the 4th spot. But now that he's got it wound back up, he's closed right in on these guys.
Remember, Timothy Peters had led the points standings for quite a few races here in the Truck Series. And Hornaday wanting to get back into that points battle, running in the 3rd spot, right?
And Hornaday said on that restart a clutch problem made him hang up 3rd gear just a little bit. That's why he didn't get running. He said hopefully it didn't do any damage to the transmission, but that's why he did not get the normal Ron Hornaday great restart.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit worried about that transmission. If we get another caution flag and have another restart, he would love to see this thing go green the rest of the way.
When something else he's worried about really now is the fact that the laps are winding down. He's got a truck between he knows what is the best truck all night long, Todd Bodine. He needs to get rid of Timothy Peters and start putting some pressure on Todd before we get too late in the going.
There's 4th, Mike Skinner. 5th, Johnny Sauter. 3 truck of Austin Dillon is 6th. The 88 truck of Matt Crafton is down a lap right now. He is the top truck right now, 1 lap down.
Johnny Benson trying to fight his way back into
contact. Austin Dillon into the outside or the inside of the 88.
You see the damage to the right front of Austin Dillon's truck?
Oh, and smoke now out of the 88 of Matt Crafton.
And he has a little bit of a tire rub because of that contact from the 3 of Austin Dillon.
That's enough contact, enough damage there, enough rub there to have a flat tire. So see how much smoke goes.
Rear tires rubbing.
Rear tires rubbing. You just heard him acknowledge. Austin Dillon goes by.
Remember what happened to Ron Hornaday down at Atlanta when he had a left rear tire blow, or excuse me, the tire blew, it was rubbing it blue, and he crashed the truck bad. You can see Crafton's running up higher on the racetrack. If it does blow, he doesn't want to go all the way from the bottom into the outside wall. That looks like enough damage there, Phil. I might come to pit road.
Yeah, it's not worth it, I don't think.
Let's go to the infield and Chris Devoda.
Thanks, Rick. In the garage with Ricky Carmichael. Ricky, we heard you say something broke. Was that something other than the tire going down?
No, I think that was my first experience with the right front going down, or blowing actually, and I definitely don't want to relive that too many times. I heard just what a bummer for the team, man. I think this was my breakthrough race. I mean, I was really earning my positions tonight, and just bummed for the whole guys, myself, and that's going to sting in the points. But for sure, we had a top 5. We had our best set of tires for the last run, and just disappointing. It's like I was just about to get over that hump. I felt like I was over the hump, and oh well.
All right, thanks, Ricky.
We said it earlier, Rick. Certainly a breakthrough night for Ricky Carmichael. He was racing in the top 5. He didn't get there through attrition. He raced his way to the front. He can walk away tonight proud.
As we see Matt Crafton are going to come in and try to get that tire up taken care of, Ray.
And they're not changing tires, Phil, just pulling the fender out to relieve that pressure off of that tire. A couple of crew members went. One pulled on the front, one pulled on the rear. They got it away and Crafton back to the racetrack. But just hasn't been a great night for the 88 team.
We got a great battle for the lead in the front. These 3 trucks are really well matched. All 3 of them right now running down on the bottom of the racetrack. Be interesting to see if they start to make some moves around like Skinner. We saw him earlier find some grip, find some speed up in the middle of the racetrack. Looks like Timothy Peters has a good run off turn 4 and closes in on Todd.
He's able to keep that truck a little bit lower. Remember, we saw Hornaday do that earlier, and he was finally able to make his way by Todd Bodine, but Timothy Peters got a little bit loose up off of 2 that time.
You don't think he's trying to get that lead, do you?
Todd Bodine is your points leader by 2 over Eric Almirola. Eric hasn't been up to speed, though, tonight. Timothy Peters battling for the win. He's 86 points back. Let's take a look at our Dodge save of the race.
Hey, let's call it saves. This cat's been crashing half the race, but yet he's running the 7th spot. Check this out. Watch how many times he saves it here, Bill. 1, 2, 3.
And he had James Busher on his outside. But hey, he's not done. Look at this now. This is that big-time wiggle sideways up off of 2 with Austin Dillon right behind him.
Nelson Piquet
I think he's got another one in him. One more.
Rick, we're not done yet.
Yeah, let's let him keep trying to crash.
Well, that was our Dodge save or saves of the race by Nelson Piquet Jr. We've got 16 laps of racing remaining. Todd Bodine, Timothy Peters, Ron Hornaday, 1, 2, 3. You are going to see racing action until the end of this race. Commercial free. We've got Johnny Benson trying to stay in front of that 5 of Mike Skinner.
Right now, Johnny Benson is the top truck running 1 lap down. Right behind him, that 2 truck. There's Austin Dillon going to go around the outside. Kenny Schrader, he's trying to get in that position in the event that the caution flag comes out. Right now, Kenny has been faster than Johnny each and every lap, and he's going to go by him here in just a second.
Yeah, Kenny's been faster than a lot of people late in this race. That last green flag segment, he was running times comparable to the leader, just got a lap down. Now he's going to try to fight his way around Johnny Benson. So if the caution flies here late in the going, Jason White, I think something happened. Something sounded bad about his engine when he went by, running in the 8th spot when that happened.
What was it, Ray?
I'd say he's got about 4 cylinders left out of the 8 is what it sounded like when he went by here, guys.
Yeah, I talked to Jason a little bit before the race. He said they had a fresh engine in that thing and had a lot more power than they used to. Qualified up in the top 10 solidly. Tomorrow's his birthday. This isn't the present he was looking to get.
Austin Dillon looking at the bottom of the racetrack to try to get by that 5 of Mike Skinner.
See Skinner up on the outside of Dillon, and Schrader hanging right with these guys. He is now the Aaron's lucky dog if the caution were to fly.
Caution's out.
There it is.
On cue. Caution comes out once again. This is the 5th time at Texas Motor Speedway this evening that we have seen the caution flag. On the lead lap, we had 8 trucks before this. Kenny Schrader will move up to make it 9 trucks on the lead lap as Jason White continues to slow on the racetrack. Doesn't look as though he's going to be able to get all the way behind the wall without some assistance.
You see 3 solid weeks for that team. Jason White, 3 good finishes and had another top 10 run going. So it's a real shame the way that truck was running tonight for him to have a problem.
How about we're going to have a restart here with probably less than 10 laps to go to settle it all. Todd Bodine, he's been leading, but he's going to have somebody on his outside, and it looks like it's going to be Timothy Peters or inside. Is Todd going to pick the inside or outside? He picked the inside last time.
What about Hornaday? We think we might have a clutch problem, some issues with that truck on the restart. That could play into stacking these guys up as well. So it's going to be tense.
That's the other part of strategy with picking inside or outside. You can choose who is going to be in front of maybe your stiffest competition, because Hornaday we know will have to start on the inside of row 2. So does he want Peters there, or does he want his own truck in front of Ron Hornaday, who is notorious for great restarts?
Yeah, but he struggled on that last restart, and I'm sure the word's gotten to Todd that Ron could have some sort of clutch or transmission issue that cost him on that last start. So be interesting to see what happens to Ron when they throw the green. And Timothy Peters on the cooler tires after that last caution, he was fast. He jumped around Hornaday and was all over Todd Bodine.
Speaking of cooler tires, we'll have just inside of 10 laps to go, and we only have 9 trucks on the lead lap. Would you come onto pit road to try to get a different set of tires?
Hey, why don't we see if we can talk to Todd Bodine? Right now, pit road's closed, so let's see what they're thinking.
Ask him if he's going to come. Yeah.
Hey, Todd, let Phil Parsons up in the speed booth. You got a copy? Todd Bodine, Phil Parsons up in the speed booth. You got a copy? Let's try him one more time. Todd Bodine, Phil Parsons, you got a copy? Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties. Todd is hearing us and trying to answer us, but we cannot hear him.
He just
on
needs
our
to yell
radio.
louder.
Yeah. Say, Todd, we really want to know if you're going to pit. I don't think Todd.
Just wave out the window. Wave out the window if you're going to pit.
Hey, Mikey.
Yes, sir.
They are not going to pit. He just came on the radio. Mike Hillman Jr. said, no way, we're staying out. Don't care what anybody behind us does. We're on the racetrack to win it.
Yeah, Ray, I think you're right. I think that's a great strategy. Why give up the lead here? We know how hard it is to get back there in dirty air and pass people. He has the lead. He has his choice on the restart. He has plenty of fuel. We got to stay out.
Again, we've only got 9 trucks on the lead lap. Do some of the guys at the end gamble and try for
nothing to lose? Absolutely nothing to lose. I certainly would.
But you're not going to win, I don't think. You're not going to beat these guys and stay out.
You might improve your position a position or two, but you're not going to beat these guys up front.
Chris Devoto.
Well, Jeff Henley said, hey, maybe our Toyota friend Todd Bodine will let us get some of those 5 bonus points and let us lead a lap. And then they all kind of laughed down here, and he added, how about lap 167?
That would be a good one.
That'd be a good one to lead, since that's the last one. Jeff Hensley on top of the pit box for Timothy Peters. They started off the 2010 season with a bang, winning at Daytona. That being the second win for Timothy Peters.
2 of our lead lap trucks came down pit road. Nelson Piquet Jr. right there, the 15 truck. He's going to come down pit road. Krista?
Well, Nelson Piquet has had a great run. Unbelievable. Just his 3rd Truck Series start. He has been loose on the last run. They wanted to come in and just tighten it up a little bit. So Nelson Piquet needs his race truck just a little bit tighter. David Starr, you also see him in as well. He's been through a lot tonight.
Hey, Krista, we want to go ahead and confirm that loose on Nelson Piquet Jr.
Yeah, confirm.
Yeah.
We documented it several times.
We have visual proof of that, I think.
Yes, we do. It's a good, feel-good story, though, with Timothy Peters, the way he started this season, leading the points, strong run. Ran into 2 races where he finished 23rd and 25th, rebounded for a 10th at Charlotte last time out. But this week, this is what we were accustomed to early in the season with that truck running for wins. And it's good to see him back because he's so fresh and so fun to listen to. He loves his job. He loves the fact he gets to race trucks.
I talked to him after qualifying. He didn't qualify. He qualified 11th. He said, we have a great race truck. Maybe not that fast for qualifying, but the longer we go, the better it gets. And he's shown that tonight.
You can't imagine how important it is for that team to rebound like they have. You know, they started off so strong, had trouble, but now they're back.
Well, tomorrow, the Rolex Sports Car Series screams into Watkins Glen, where 4-time NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson will join the Gainesco 99 team for his first ever 6 hours at the Glen. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series from Watkins Glen tomorrow, live at 2 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
There's Kenny Schrader right there. He didn't have much to lose. He got the Aaron's lucky dog. So Kenny's going to come in and put 4 tires on, see if he can maybe steal a couple spots. We know he's had a great fast truck. His truck's been getting better and better and better, and now he's back on the lead lap with Aaron's lucky dog.
This is just what makes you keep coming back. Schrader said, there was a part of this race I was faster than anybody, Kevin. Are you watching?
and we know he is.
Yeah. Eric Almirola, take a look.
Eric's lost 2 laps on that one pit stop.
See, right side tires are on. Everything looks fine over there. The NASCAR official goes over to the left.
Did that one get away? I got it. But Eric got 2 laps down pitting under green, and he just hasn't been able to overcome that. He's still 2 laps down, riding back in the 13th spot right now. Lucky there's a lot of attrition tonight, so he's going to get a decent finish and not lose a whole lot of points, Rick, but he certainly struggled tonight.
Eric Almirola is still second in the point standings.
Hey, how about Narain Karthikeyan right now running 12th? There he is in that Safe Auto Chevrolet. They switched to Chevrolet. He's one of 3 trucks that's 1 lap down. Johnny Benson, James Busher, and Narain. And he's running in the 12th position. 13th is Almirola, who was Almirola after making his pit stop. That moves Matt Crafton up to 13th. And Narain has over a lap on all those guys. So another terrific job. You see his best finish in his debut was 13th at Martinsville, and he made better that tonight.
This is looking a whole lot like Martinsville, just getting out there, logging laps, learning, and I'll be darned if he isn't very, very competitive while doing so. And this is a whole different form of racing that this man's used to, and it's fun to see he and Nelson Piquet Jr. both up in there mixing it up with the big boys.
Todd Bodine has chose the inside line. That means Timothy Peters will be on his outside for the restart. And that also means that Ron Hornaday will be right behind Todd Bodine on this restart.
He won't be shy about stuffing it 3 wide either if he can get a start on Todd to dive down into turn 1 with the bottom line. And we know Hornaday's got a lot of power into that Chevy. That launch right there he just made on the back straightaway, spinning the rear tires, powering forward. That tells me the clutch is okay, so this could be very, very fun. He's liable to say, howdy y'all, here I come when they throw the green.
And this is not a restart that Todd Bodine wants to get wrong. He needs to have a great restart. We're going to restart here with 7 laps to go.
7 laps to go, 9 trucks on the lead lap. Johnny Benson running 10th, 1 lap down. The field now in the hands of Todd Bodine. Coming out of turn 4 into the quad oval. Todd Bodine into the gas. Green flag back in the air. Here comes Hornaday all over his back bumper.
I think his clutch is okay.
Yeah, I think it is too. I don't know about Timothy Peters' start. That wasn't a good.
Oh, look at Hornaday's on the inside. They make contact. Hornaday pushing the 30 of Todd Bodine up the racetrack. Hornaday going for the win. Here comes Timothy Peters. He slides up the racetrack as they go down the backstretch.
Look at him beating and banging back there.
Todd Bodine forcing his way back on the outside, trying to get that position back 3 wide behind him.
Hornaday sideways down in the middle of 3 and 4, loses his momentum. Todd grabs the lead back. What a lap, what a restart by Ron Hornaday.
Todd Bodine back in front. Ron Hornaday runs second. Here comes Johnny Sauter through the grass in the 13, running 3rd.
Look at Austin Dillon now takes over the 4th spot from Nelson Piquet Jr. Skinner's on the outside of Piquet.
Timothy Peters from second. Oh, we had a truck into the wall. Was that Peters?
It looked like Timothy Peters maybe. The 17th truck coming off too.
From 2nd to 7th in 1 lap and then hit the wall off turn 4. And there's a lot of damage to that, off turn 2. And there's a lot of damage to that truck as he exits turn 4.
Sparks flying underneath the 17. Let's see if he can hang on for 5 more laps.
I don't know, guys. I don't think that truck will run 5 laps as hard as it hit.
Bodine in front of Hornaday by almost 0.3 of a second. Sauter, Dillon, and Nelson Piquet Jr. in the 5th position. David Starr is sideways, and Matt Crafton with a lot of damage as well. Our 6th caution of the night.
Wow.
That's a big break for Timothy Peters. Bad break for Crafton, obviously, but a very big break for Timothy Peters, a guy that was having a great night. It seemed to look like it was all going to go away late in the going, but he can get to pit road, make repairs to that truck, and still get a solid finish.
Yeah,
check out David Starr's truck.
A lot of damage to that Zachary Toyota. Todd Bodine brings the field around to the start-finish line. That means 4 laps to go. We will have a green-white checker by the time they get this damage repaired, cleaned up off the racetrack.
You know what else it means? Ron Hornaday is now going to start beside Todd Bodine. And he started behind him right then and almost cleared him, almost got the lead. They got together down in turn 1 and 2. What an aggressive move by Hornaday to try to grab that win. And Todd just said, no way, it's not happening.
Ray Dunlap.
Rick, it appears we're going to go green-white checkered, as Phil said. That'll be the 85th time in series history. 6 of those have happened here at Texas. This will be number 7. But the important thing is Mike Hillman Jr. has been telling Todd Bodine over and over, you got to save me a little bit of gas. If we go more than 1 green-white checkered, we're going to be very, very tight. Krista?
Want to update a couple of trucks. The 17 was worried about a little bit of damage to the right side. They said that they have enough clearance on that fender on that right front tire. Also, 17 might come in, though, to take a look at it. Also, what about the 15? The 15 of Nelson Piquet having such a great run. worried about overheating. They're on the track right now. They're saying there's only 4 laps. We might have to decide what we're going to do to chance it.
Looks like we got some trucks overheating. The 15 of Nelson McKay Jr. was running the 7th spot. He's going to have to come pit road. That's a lot of water they've lost there.
Looks like he's going to make his way to pit road.
Oh, Peters is staying out. I'd want to come to pit road and check that truck out. No more trucks that are on the lead lap. I mean, that's very risky.
There's really only 10 on the lead lap. There's going to be 10 trucks on the lead lap when we get ready to restart this. So the 15 is going to be a problem. The 31 of James Busher will get the lucky dog. Take another look at what just happened. Again, the 81 of David Starr involved.
Something broke. Or a tire went down on the right front of that Zachary Toyota. Matt Crafton came along with, ooh, look at Narain Karthikeyan barely get by there. Nice job by him to protect that great finish he has going.
Isn't that just the way it is some nights? Matt Crafton's had so much trouble tonight, and right there, there's nothing he could do. The truck inside of him had a problem with the right front. Looked like it might have blown a tire, and it just drove Crafton straight into the outside wall. We talked about this being a good break for Timothy Peters to be able to assess his damage a little bit and maybe make some repairs. Also a great break for Kenny Schrader. We saw him on pit road the last caution getting 4 fresh tires. He had to restart at the back of the field, so he didn't have a chance at getting a top 5 finish or maybe even possibly sneaking a win in. But now he's got a great chance at that because he's riding along in the 7th spot and he's got those fresh tires and a chance to get more.
Yeah, I think he's looking at a top 5 finish potentially for Kenny Schrader. But I'm telling you, I cannot wait for the scenario we have building right now.
It's perfect
with Bodine and Hornaday up on the front row. Watch this. Listen.
Oh, so violent.
Yeah. See Narain Karthikeyan go by just missing the front of this Zachary Toyota. Watch Matt Crafton absolutely has no idea what's going to happen.
And Phil, until you've done that and been inside of the truck when that happens, you don't know how bad that hurts.
Did it take your breath away?
It did. It makes me so happy I'm sitting up here. I'm glad these guys are on pit road. They had to come to pit road.
Krista.
Michael, yeah, they must have heard you. They did come in. They were deciding what to do. They thought about staying out, but they see him pulling the fender there to make sure they have the clearance on that right front tire.
Too much damage to the 81 of David Starr. He's behind the wall. See the 17 making its way back out.
That puts Schrader up to the 6th spot. Phil, he's going to start on the outside of row 3. So fresh tires and a fast truck. This could be fun for Schrader.
This was Jennifer Jo Cobb's view.
Watch Narain slip by, and she's down low, and oh, you just don't. You think those trucks are coming your way, but they didn't. She's done a great job, by the way, riding along in the 15th spot. She's a few laps down, but survival tonight is going to get her a great finish.
Would be a career best finish for her right now. She has a top 20 finish, but no top 15s yet.
So they've got the 88 of Matt Crafton back behind the wall. They continue to clean up the racetrack. We'll come back for our first attempt at a green-white checker finish here in Texas. Welcome back. Green flag back in the air. Todd Bodine takes the lead away from the 33 of Hornaday. Here comes Johnny Sauter for second. They go into turn number 1. Todd Bodine with a great restart.
What a great time for a great restart for Todd Bodine.
Now watch Hornaday. He's got it wound up on the outside, and he's got Austin Dillon pushing him, giving him that draft down the back straightaway. Here they come, Phil.
That's Mike Skinner pushing Ron Hornaday.
Oh, he gets Hornaday loose up the racetrack. Here comes Mike Skinner now. Skinner moves into the 3rd spot. Johnny Sauter holding on to 2nd.
Here comes Kenny Schrader. He's now going to get a hold of the back of Austin Dillon. White flags in the air. Todd Bodine's got a gap on him.
1 lap of racing to go. Todd Bodine has been the dominant truck. It looks as though he's going to make it 6 wins at Texas Motor Speedway. The battle now for 3rd.
Austin Dillon on the inside of Mike Skinner trying to grab that spot. Skinner tries to crowd him down.
Austin Dillon on the inside. Skinner on the outside. Kenny Schrader behind him watching. Coming out of turn number 4. The 30 of Todd Bodine wins 6 times at Texas.
You guys are the shit, baby. Woo! How about it?
And Austin Dillon gets Mike Skinner at the line. Wow. By 4 1/1000ths of a second for 3rd for a career best.
Hornaday drops all the way back to 9th.
I told you they had a run going down into turn 3. It was such a run. Hornaday about spun out. They were going so fast.
Number 11, a mile and a half for Todd Bodine.
The winning drought has ended for Todd Bodine and the 30 truck. Right.
Mike Hillman Jr. congratulating all his crew down here. Win number 18 for you as a crew chief. But what about dominance at Texas Motor Speedway? You guys are awesome.
Yeah, there's something about this place, you know. We got a new relationship with Valvoline this week on our Tundra, and it's really cool to take them to victory lane the first time. Last time we did this with a new sponsor and took them their first time, we won the championship with Lumber Liquidators. So maybe we can do it again this year.
All right, good luck. Go celebrate down there in victory lane. Todd Bodine, guys, he is Mr. Texas Motor Speedway.
How ironic is it that he was on a 24-race losing streak, equaled his career long. He broke his first losing streak here at Texas, and I'll be darned if he doesn't come back and do it again.
And win 6 times. Nobody has ever won 5 times at any one racetrack, and now he's won 6 here.
Most laps Bodine has ever led at Texas, so it was a dominant performance from start to finish for Todd Bodine.
What a great night for that team, huh? Get a new sponsor, dominate, win the race in dramatic fashion. Had to battle with Hornaday late in the going to get the win. Now he's going to carry the checkered flag.
Hornaday had to have had some sort of a problem there. He got down in the corner, went high, wasn't able to keep that truck down.
I just think maybe he got loose from they had a big draft down the back straightaway. You said it, Skinner was right on his bumper, and right on Skinner's bumper was Austin Dillon, and those three together, they were catching Todd Bodine coming down the back straightaway. When they got there, maybe just a little bit too much speed or too much of a push from Skinner knocked Hornaday sideways.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed has been brought to you by Camping World. The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. Camping World is offering more prizes and more chances to win. Visit campingworld.com to enter today. By Just for Men Hair Color, Live Forward. And by Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. Todd Bodine getting familiar with Victory Lane. We'll hear from him when we come back. Welcome back. Win number 18 puts Todd Bodine in a tie for 4th all-time in Camping World Truck Series wins. Let's hear from him. Let's go down to Ray.
And here comes Todd Bodine out of that Valvoline number 30. Not only, Rick, is that his 18th career win, it puts him at 11 on 1.5-mile tracks, and the biggest number of all, Texas Motor Speedway dominance. I'll tell you what, they could change the name of this victory lane to Bodine Circle.
Well, I don't know about that. They made me earn it 3 times tonight, 4 times actually. I'm not usually that good on restarts, so I knew, especially with Ron outside me. I mean, he's the king of restarts, and I had to get a good one. And that last one, I got a good one. Didn't spin the tires except for right before 3rd gear, and it was a good start. Tundra ran great. We got a little tight when Ron passed me. It was a little too tight behind him. Once we got out front, it was good.
One bad finish so far this season. The rest all pretty much top 5s, and tonight has to really make a statement of where this team is headed.
It does. I mean, we struggled the first part of the year. The trucks weren't driving good. I mean, just really a handful on the steering wheel to drive. And Mike Jr. and Tom Ackerman went to work, figured it out, got it driving good. These guys put a great truck together. Here we are, first race with Valvoline, victory lane, awesome. Steve, Bob, Rick, wish you guys were here.
All right, Todd Bodine in victory lane. He is Mr. Texas, the 30 truck, celebrating with a brand new sponsor.
Take a look at our Royal Purple unofficial results. How about Austin Dillon? A career best 3rd place for him.
Look at Johnny Sauter. That's about the quietest 2nd place finish you can have, but what a great job by Johnny Sauter.
What about all those veterans in the top 5, and they've got Austin Dillon surrounded, a kid still in college.
How impressive. Noreen Carthacane finishes 11th, just 1 lap down here at Texas.
Yeah, Jennifer Jo Cobb with a top 15. Good job by her in 14th.
Career best for her. Great job, Jennifer.
It was a hot weekend and a lot of, well, I guess, warm under the collar moments. Johnny Sauter not so bad this weekend though, right, Krista?
That's right, Rick. Not too bad at all, especially considering the trouble they had to go through there. Kind of had that stop that worried you a little bit. Talk about your night.
I worry all the time, so.
I was worried too.
Just a great night for our in-country television, Curb Record Chevy. I mean, I can't thank Joe Shearer and all the guys enough. We weren't the greatest truck tonight, but on a long run, we were pretty fast. So I just knew that at the end, if he could make the right adjustments and tighten me up a little bit, I could get going on the get-go. And when Ron and Todd were running side by side there, I had the momentum. I could have took it 3 wide, and I was like, wait, I know these two, and I thought there was a good possibility they could wreck each other, and we wouldn't have to fight for it. But nonetheless, good night for us. I mean, good points tonight for us and everything. I just, you want to win. When you get that close, you want to win them. But congratulations to Todd and all those guys. They did a good job.
All right. Thanks, Johnny.
Take a look at the battle for third.
This is going to be about a 4,000th of a second third place for Austin Dillon. Just at the very end, he nudges by the 5 of Mike Skinner for his career best.
If you ever wonder what 4,000th of a second looks like,
that was it.
Great.
Hey, but remember, it was 5,000ths of a second that separated Eric Darnell and Johnny Benson at the next racetrack we go to.
It's so good to see that Germain truck in victory lane. Bob's that whole family's meant so much to this sport, NASCAR racing in general, trucks specifically. So congratulations to the Germains.
And Todd Bodine all smiles. It's been an unbelievable weekend here at Texas. We thank you for joining us. Coming up next, it's trackside from Pocono. And again, the trucks will be in Michigan next week, so make sure to stay tuned and take a deep breath. You'll need it as they go back to action when we go back to Michigan International Speedway.
The Irish Hills of Michigan welcome the Camping World Truck Series. No driver currently in the top 10 has ever won this race. Will one of the championship contenders find their way to victory lane? Tune into Speed to find out. It all starts Saturday, June 12th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern with Chris Devoda and The Setup, followed by flag-to-flag coverage right here on Speed.